This one, I was thinking on this. I would say like 3 years ago, a lot of people didn't know this franchise or this brand or like how good it was, and now I think it's pretty well established and pretty well known. College Hunks. So, College Hunks, they do junk hauling and moving services. They were started in 2003 by a couple of college guys, and now those guys have built a huge franchise system and empire, if you want to call it. And now they still serve as a CEO and president. But they began franchising. They started their own company in 2003, and they began franchising it in 2007. So they have 4 corporate-owned territories. I think one of their biggest one is in Tampa, Florida, and that's where they do all their training and stuff. But they have close to 200 franchise units now. So, like I mentioned, they're pretty well established. Still room for growth, but it is a little bit rarer in bigger like metro areas to find open territories for College Hunks because they've grown pretty quickly. But essentially, what they do is they have 2 verticals. One is moving services for people that are moving inner city, and then 2 is junk hauling services. So you can start with both. So you could start having one truck dedicated to both of those services. You could just choose to do one at a time and then add on the second one. So I think most people decide to do both at the same time. What's pretty crazy about College Hunks is, we've placed multiple people in this, and I've heard it from multiple feedback from multiple people is, when you get through training, which is very well done, and you come back and they turn on that marketing engine, you will get busy very quickly. So they've really got the pay-per-click advertising and all the digital stuff figured out. They know how to enter a new market and enter it quickly. And they know how to get their franchise owners busy. So a lot of people think of this and like, oh, that's a simple service. Well, on the surface, it looks simple, but I think it's a pretty complex business to run, actually, because it's a lot of logistics and making sure you're operationally efficient, managing a decent sized team, because you're going to get busy quick. And then, as you get in certain backlog in either one of those verticals, you need to order a new truck and hire a new crew and train them out. So it's very much a logistics and operations business. It's great for people that are good at doing that type of business and managing others. And also people that maybe don't want to do a lot of sales. It's not really sales heavy, like traditional, like thinking of sales is not that type of business. So, and then if you look at the FTD, if we scroll down here, the numbers are pretty strong. They go into, let's see. Yeah, so they go into their corporate-owned stores, which you can look at for a nice, and then they have franchise-owned stores. So this is 2022 numbers. So single territory stores are averaging right at $1 million in gross sales, and then multi-territory stores, it jumps up to 2.28 million. So one thing I have seen in recent years is they do require owners or only allow owners to buy one territory to start with now. And then you have the opportunity to add an additional territory 6 months after you've gotten ramped up or within that 6 month period. So they really want people to prove out that they can execute on their business model in one territory. They don't want to sell a lot of territories to one owner, which I respect. At the same time, when you get people that are pretty aggressive and like want to build something to scale, they think they want, 2 or 3 territories when they see these numbers, which is all understandable. So, but they really want you to just kind of come in, get your feet wet, dominate one territory, and then expand. So, I like that. I think it's in certain markets, this can be a really good business where there's a lot of, real estate, transactions being done and a lot of people moving in and out. So, if it were me, I would definitely start with moving because I think that's where the higher demand is, and then add on junk hauling. But yeah, what do you think of this business, Tarek? You're familiar with it?
Yeah, I think it's interesting, like you were saying, very logistics driven. So I think for some of the folks that are, you have a good operations mind, like this could be a business that you could just enjoy because you like like I would see it as like a puzzle in a way, right? Like I love puzzles. I'm actually more naturally operations driven. Kevin, most people don't believe that. Kevin probably knows, understanding our CRM system and like the spider web of stuff, like that's true. But yeah, I'd be curious, kind of, I guess, how the kind of market conditions with real estate, how that's impacting this business, and maybe someone has to go hard on the junk hauling stuff, because I'm just curious how many people are moving right now. But I think at the end of the day, there's no perfect time to start really any business, and you want to have yourself positioned properly. But yeah, I love the fact that they have a couple hundred franchisees. I love that they're this transparent in their in their FDD, and showing all the sales, and showing the earnings, the net profit percentage. It's rare that franchisors show this level of transparency, which is pretty awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, I really think they're a legit company, and they're pretty selective on who they recruit into their system. So I've had a couple candidates that they've kind of told basically that they didn't think they were going to be a great fit, which, and my candidates took it really well, and the reasonings why. But I actually respect that. They want people to get into this business that they know are going to be successful. They really want leaders of people, because they want you to come in and like hire and train and give these young people opportunities to grow within the business. And like, so they want like natural born leaders that can mold these younger people into promotional opportunities, and then, just advancement opportunities in their career in general. So yeah, it's a cool business. The name is, some people are thrown off by the name and don't like it, but it is catchy, and customers do remember it.
It is catchy. Yeah. I guess I'm so used to it now. I'm like, I'm numb to it.
Yeah, I am too.
Do you want to hit on some of these real quick?
Yeah, I probably should. I mean, a lot of franchises are heading towards this model, but they do have a corporate call center, and I think it is actually one that's really well ran. So it is a big plus, because they do get a lot of leads for you. And corporate has a call center that you pay for from your fees, but they're going to schedule a vast majority of those appointments for you, which is a huge benefit, because I do think it's a high volume. And then, they do have, I guess they are getting into more commercial stuff as well. So especially with like junk hauling accounts, think of like businesses that are moving or going out of business or whatever it may be. So, and then they are, the one last thing I forgot to mention is they are pretty community focused. So they do want leaders of people that can get out in the community, but they do donate a lot to the community, victims of domestic violence. They give away free meals. They do a lot of like repurposing of their truck for community events. So, it's a really, it's a business where they want you to be comfortable getting your name out there as well, and networking in the community.
Awesome. Yeah, guys. So if you're interested in learning to see if they're available in your area, or just what franchises are available in your area, go to franchiseempire.com/check territory. I think there's a lot of people out there right now marketing franchise opportunities, and lots of franchise brokers, consultants, coaches, whatever they want to call themselves. And, outside of the fact that, in terms of what makes us different, because some people ask us, the fact that we continue to work with you after you sign your franchise agreement, but there's a lot of promotion of a lot of the new franchisors and emerging franchisors now. And I think one of the things that, I really enjoy about us and Kevin and the team is that, number one, we like to always look for resales and see what's available there for you guys. And we like to look at what's proven. Like, what are some of the brands that are proven, that are out there, and if they're available in your area. And, there's a lot of companies out there that are trying to sell you the next best thing, but, it's kind of like the next best thing doesn't always last. It's not proven yet. And so, not to say that anything's wrong with emerging franchisors, but I feel like this is something that's really unique about kind of what, Kevin and the team brings, in terms of the level of just research and diligence on some of these proven concepts.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it. I mean, I agree with you. I think what you said at the start of the meeting, the newsletter, is it does give me like a pit in my stomach when I hear those stories. So I don't want that to happen to people. it doesn't mean I won't, we won't ever show people emerging brands if they're a good fit and in the category of interest and maybe a good market fit. We definitely still might show them, but we give people the facts. Like this is like the way we present it is like totally different. I feel like than most people. It's this is brand new. Go into it eyes wide open. Make sure you do all the due diligence. Make sure you understand the numbers. Like we really give people like that caution because you really have to be careful. But it doesn't mean that they're necessarily like not the next great opportunity. It's just we like to show more established brands probably first and foremost, and then let people decide if they want to actually also pursue one of those emerging brands at the same time.